Hello everyone, this is Karen. And this is going to be an apology / explanation video on why I disappeared from YouTube and most of my social media actually. This video is probably going to be a little bit long, so I'm going to give a very short version right now, and then I'm going to elaborate on it so you can choose if you want to stick with me until the end or you just want to know what happened, and that's it. So short version is like many artists right now, I got burned out, and so I decided to take care of myself, and that's it. So now that the short story is out of the way, let's go with the longer one. A little bit of background before I start, because explaining my relationship with money is kind of important to understand what happened after. So I'm going to do a very small excursus to my relationship with money. So my family is not that rich, but also not that poor. So growing up, I didn't miss anything in the terms of food, of clothing. Like, I didn't suffer the cold, I didn't starve or nothing like that. But we were kind of frugal because we didn't have a lot of money to splurge on things we wanted. So for example, the gaming console that all my friends had, I didn't have. Or like everyone was going to the movies with their families at least once a week, I didn't have that. So it's not like I had a bad life growing up, it's just that luxuries I didn't have because we didn't have money for it. And so as I grew up, I kind of grew up with the need to earn a lot of money if I wanted to splurge on something. So like, I am allowed, of course, to buy myself food, I am allowed to buy myself clothes if I'm cold. But if I want something like a little more extra, like if I want to buy extra art supplies, if I want to buy something that is not necessary, then I'm going to need to earn that. It's not like, oh yes, I'm working, I have that money, and from that money I need to take the money from the luxury item I want. It's like I need to earn more than that if I want the extra. So like, extra item equals to extra money that is not in the budget. I don't know if I explained it very well, but this is basically the gist of it. If I want something more than what I would need to live, then I need to earn it. Both like mentally and economically. But we'll get to that in a bit. So until university, I was basically dependent on my parents for everything: transportation, clothes, food, money for school, so basically everything. And so since I got a little bit older, I kind of wanted more, because it's natural. When you're a child, you can kind of be happy with what you have, but once you get older, you feel a little bit of peer pressure. You kind of want more, so like, oh no, but I want that bag, and oh no, I want those shoes, and kind of things like that. So I tried to monetize the only thing that I had, which was drawing. So I started out small. So like, at first I had a Deviantart account just for my own art, and art, not heart, but yes, it was my first account and my original one, and I just put there whatever I wanted. When I started to want to earn a little bit of money from my art, I started doing commissions, and my first times didn't exactly go well. That's a story for another time. I was too young and had no idea how people worked, so yeah. But after that, I tried after a couple of years, and I was in my second or third year of university, so I was like 22 or something like that. And adoptables were starting to pop up. Now, I have explained what adoptables are in a Q&A video, but basically they are designs that you create in order to be sold. So not something that you want to keep for yourself, but something created especially for sale. Now, this is not to say that you cannot sell your own character or whatever, but these are created especially for sale. And so in the beginning it was just, to get some of Deviantart internal currency, and so, to just get a subscription and whatever. But then I saw that many people did them for money, and I was like, okay, maybe I can do that as well, maybe I get a little bit of extra money. And so it began, and in the beginning I loved what I did. I enjoyed creating new designs, I enjoyed creating new creatures. It was like a drug. The more I designed, the more I wanted to design, so it was a lot of fun. And the money was like a good plus, but it wasn't exactly that much, or what was important for me. But after a while, you start to accumulate that money, and so after a couple of months you start to see, oh, I can go out to eat with that kind of money, and maybe also buy something for myself, like small trinkets. But after a little bit, when you get better and better at art, of course you're going to update your prices, because that's what artists do. They start low, and then the prices grow up as the artist grows up. English is not that good for me right now. A bit rusty. And so I started raising my prices a little bit, because I started making more art and more detailed art. And so I raised more and more money, and I was seeing the potential of it. So okay, if I earn this kind of money, maybe I can purchase something bigger, something, I don't know, a starting camera. Not that I had that kind of money in the beginning, but a small camera, or a gaming console, for example. I remember my first Nintendo DS was the first ever, no, it was a DSi, I think. Anyway, it was the first console I bought for myself, and I purchased it when I was 24 or 25, something like that. And I had never had one, and it's something sometimes I say to my parents, you never bought me a console, I had to buy it with my own money. And they were like, oh, you didn't need it, we had a computer, you could play on the computer. And they weren't wrong, but sometimes a kid needs a little bit more, especially since it was the millennial period of the 90s and 200s, no, 2000s, sorry. And so there were a lot of consoles, a lot of technology being produced, and so it was kind of staying updated with the times. I kind of fell back a little bit. Not that I'm angry, I am happy that I grew up the way I did, because I could get into technology without being controlled by technology. But other matter. So let's go back to, I was earning more and more money, and so I saw the potential of it, and so it started to become more like a job rather than a hobby. And so I started making more, not because I liked doing more designs, but because I wanted more money. And this went on for a year or so, until I finished university. I did my state exam and I entered my internship. Now, my internship was paid, and was actually paid pretty well in the mean wages of my country. I live in Italy, so it wasn't exactly that I needed to draw to earn money. I already had my money, but in this time I went to live alone. I had a flatmate, but I went to live alone. And so my parents told me, okay, now you are getting some money off this internship, which was basically a work/study period, 5 years. I had a contract, so I knew I was not, getting kicked out and would have money problems at least for 5 years. And so they didn't cut me off, but they said, okay, so now you pay your own rent, you pay your own bills, you pay everything for everything. And so I found myself that, oh, now I have money to splurge a little bit. No, I didn't have that because I had to pay for my flat, I had to pay for my bills, I had to pay for the books, I had to pay for food, I had to pay for everything. And so the money that I wanted to splurge on something else was going to the essentials. And so if I wanted something, like I said in the beginning, if I wanted something extra, I would need to work for it. So I basically had 2 works for 5 years. I had my internship, which was like 50 to 60, 70-ish hours every week, and then I would come home and draw to earn more money for, like, if I wanted to go out with my friends, if I wanted to purchase watercolor supplies, anything extra would have to be earned by my drawing activity and not by my main work activity. But this meant that I was getting like no rest, no time for myself other than, going out with my friends. That me being an introvert and a domestic person, not exactly that much. So I spent 5 years just working. And then the internship ended and I spent like 4 or 5 months waiting for the entrance contest for my actual job, in a constant state of anxiety because I didn't have my base job anymore, and so any money that I would have for my own consume was coming from my art. And it was a period of slow sales, so it wasn't like I was making a lot. Now, to be economical, numberish, so when I sold a lot of dots, I would earn like something 500-ish every month, euros, 500 euros every month. More or less. There were months where I earned 300 and months like that were 700. So it was a lot, and at least for me it was a lot. If you have to sustain yourself only on art, it's not a lot, but it was a lot at the time. And now I had a lull where I was earning like 200 euros, 250 euros every month. And so I was like very worried because I didn't have an income anymore from my work, and my art wasn't doing so well. I went home to my parents, I have to say this, so I didn't have rent and bills anymore, but suddenly if I wanted to purchase a watercolor palette, it would not be possible because, if I wanted to go out and eat, if I wanted to purchase like gifts for my families, like for birthdays and something like that, I didn't have the necessary money to both purchase the gift for them and the small little thing for me. So I went like into a panic. Oh my god, I need more money. And I know this isn't healthy, but you know what? I prefer to be a money hoarder, a frugal person, rather than be someone who's just like, oh yay, $1,000 in my account, I can go purchase something, whatever, and then have no money for emergencies. I prefer to be the way I am, but it's not very healthy. I do realize that, and I am trying to work on it. It's not going very well. Finally the contest comes, I pass, and I get in. And actually yesterday, which was the 1st of November, I celebrated my 1-year anniversary at my job. well, celebrated. I went out with my mom for a hot chocolate, so it's not like the big celebration, but I've been working for a year. And the nice thing about my job is that my internship paid like fairly for the kind of work that I did, but the kind of work I do now, and no secret, I am a doctor, is paying very well for what I earned before for the same amount of hours. And so now, not to say, and this is something that I get angry a lot with like my uncle or my relatives, because they say, oh, you earn a lot. Yes, I also have human lives in my hands, so I am sorry if I earn a bit more than you. I am so sorry. It's not like I earn, 4,000 euros a month. I don't. But I do not also earn 1,000 euros a month, which is what they earn, and so, jealousy, whatever. But yes, so I got into my job, and I started earning a lot more than what I usually did, and so I'm like, why should I even keep on being stressed by 2 jobs? And I can just sorry, got moved. So I basically said, what's the purpose of me running 2 jobs? I don't need that. I can just go back to drawing for the pleasure, drawing for myself. And then I realized that I had no pleasure anymore in drawing. And this was a very, very sad realization, because I've always loved drawing. It was always my personal outlet. I was sad, I drew something. I was angry, I drew something. I was happy, I drew something. And subjects changed, but it was essentially my emotional outlet. And it was like I had nothing else to put out to the world. And I just decided, okay, now I think I have the amount of money that would keep me calm enough to deal with everything, rent, new apartment, by the way, and new flatmate. She's sleeping, so I'm letting her sleep. She's not a very social being. But yeah, so I changed a lot of things in my life. So I moved out from my parents, got a pet, got everything in order. I'm probably going to do like a studio tour, because now I have a room dedicated to drawing, to my hobbies. I'm probably not going to do a home tour, because kitchen, sofa, bedroom, bathroom, that's basically it. But this room is the room I like, the one I want to, to share. So this is probably not going to be my last video, so I'm probably going to do more videos, but I'm not going to have an upload schedule. I'm just going to do what I want when I want it, which is kind of the point of me dropping off the face of Earth. I stopped doing YouTube, I stopped posting like 2 adoptables every day on Deviantart, I stopped posting on Instagram. And this was all because now I'm trying to live in a new way to heal from a burnout, and I have to say it hasn't really worked. I want to do what I want the moment I want to do it. So if I want to draw something, I do draw, but only when I feel like it and for the amount of time that I feel like it. So I still post some adopts from time to time, but I'm no longer following like a schedule, so like which adoptables sell more, which adoptables are missing in my gallery, I had a whole scheme for like when I needed to post, what I needed to post, how I needed to do it, and it was massive, and it was massively exhausting, which is how I ended up here, exhausted. It has been a struggle though, in the sense that I just it's kind of a strange feeling to explain now that I no longer have to draw and I can just not draw. I simply do not draw. So even when I feel the urge to draw something, I'm just like, but I don't need to draw anymore. I can just not do anything. And so I'm like, yeah, but I want to draw. Why don't I draw something? And yeah, it's kind of hard to explain. I'm still trying to elaborate it and not doing a very good job of it by the looks of it because, you know, remember, still having struggles. But yeah. So this is basically it. I've decided that I'm well enough to do a YouTube video explaining all of this because I'm at a point where I need to decide what to do with my whole hobby situation. So do I want to start drawing again, like you know, a small push, do something like a little drawing every week or something, but not give myself a schedule as much as give myself a little push to draw, or just say, you know, just let's go on being this situation where I have no idea what I'm doing. So I kind of either need to push and see what happens, risking just giving up altogether drawing, or just staying in limbo for a little bit longer. I have no idea what I'll do. Knowing myself, I'm probably going to push, so stay tuned to see how it works out. Of course, I am not promising a regular upload schedule because that's not going to be possible anymore, but I still want to share some things, especially some small art talks, because I have been examining a lot of my like previous years in art, and some things I did not exactly agree with anymore. So I think it's something worth sharing and listening to your opinion, because I want to feel like I'm not alone. So yeah, I am definitely better in my head, in my heart. I just need to, you know, get out of the comfortable little chair where I'm currently sitting and just, you know, start leaping a little bit more, like not out of cliffs, no, off cliffs like I did before, but you know, some light slopes might be a good thing to do once in a while. So thank you all for sticking with me. I am sorry I went away for so long, but you heard what happened. Well, maybe some of you agree with what I did, some of you do not. Honestly, everyone reacts to things in their own way, and this is the way I reacted. I apologize if it was a little bit abrupt and a little bit with no explanation, but it was what was best for me at the moment, and so I took my chance, and yeah, that was it. So, thank you all for being with me for this extra long video. I hope I kept you company, and until next time, and yes, there's going to be a next time. Bye.